Now what we're going to be doing is skin tone. Now for the skin tone we're going to be using the same as we did originally, the Ushabti bone mixed in with the Ungor flesh. Now you want more Ushabti bone than Ungor flesh for this. I'm trying to make it paler, much paler, and then we don't need to look at green for this, because most of the time we're going to have green behind it. When you don't have the green behind it, you've got the grey, and we certainly don't want to be affecting the grey areas. So with using a fine detail brush, get your paint on, and then you can start just adding areas of highlight colour where you think it's needed, like so. Next we have her arm. I know she's got something in her hand. I've not a clue what it is though. Can't tell. But it doesn't make the slightest bit of difference because it's going to be covered in blood, so I'm not going to be going too heavy on the what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not going to be going too heavy on the highlighting for the hands. But I'm forgetting the other areas of flesh that is on display. Do we really need to make sure are highlighted? Otherwise it's not going to look right. Oh, yeah. And she is now, to all intents and purposes, finished. It's just the final bits, the gold for her jewellery and the blood and the base, so we'll put her to one side and we'll get her friend out. Insert your own jokes here please. And here her head is pointing down, so we don't need a lot of highlighting on this, on her face. Oops. Because if you look from the top you don't see any of her face. But we do put a little bit of highlighting there. There we go, and there as well. I'll just pick out some detail. That's all we do for this. And again, we can do the hands but don't go too mad with it, because they are zombies after all. They are going to be ripping people to pieces while they feed. They're going to be covered in blood, so it's not worth really going to town with. And here we're just picking out details. There are still, as you can see, some areas where the wash hasn't dried yet, but we're not touching those areas, so it doesn't make any difference. There we are. Now him, I think we're going to add a little more water to the mix. And I'm not going to overboard with these because, well, let's face it, they aren't the most detailed models of zombies. So I'm just going to put it on and then wipe it off with my finger. Like so, and like so. Tum-ti-tum-ti-tum. Again, don't forget we're going to be having blood all over his arms. And then finally this fella, I think I'm going to change brushes to my medium sized brush, or my standard brush rather, and that way I can get it done a little bit easier, a little bit quicker, because it's just going to be the same kind of thing. We're not going to be using. Why does that keep water going on? I want dry brush a little better. There we go. As you can see, having the green in the background actually gives it that base, so you know it's not he's not a live person. It's definitely not fresh meat. Okay, she's been done. She's been done. It's just your man here now who needs doing. And for this I'm going to add to that previous colour some rhinox hide to make it darker. I'm just going to play about with colours at the moment. Rhinox hide, not of shabty bone, but the ungor flesh. And what we'll do here is just once you find a shade that you like, bap it on. Again, dry brushing. So we're trying to make it look as though this fella is I don't know what I was going to say then. What I'm trying to do is just make sure this, trying to make it look as though this fella is darker skinned. Okay, some form of African or West Indian descent. Now we can add a little bit more, or a little bit of the shabty bone into this mix as like an extreme highlight. And we'll just run it on the head, not all over everywhere, but just a few touches here and there. I hope that skin tone looks acceptable. Bear in mind it's not fresh flesh, live flesh. These are zombies, remember. Now what we're going to be doing is using some of the Outdoor Guard blue. We're going to be highlighting first of all this fellow's shirt. First I'm going to add a little bit of white into this Outdoor Guard blue, just to make it look a bit paler so it stands out a lot more on the shirt, on the clothing itself. As it's standing now, it's not showing up terribly well. And if there was a reason why I'm not showing you the exact mix that I'm doing, it's not because I just can't be bothered, it's because the exact mix doesn't matter. Because when all said and done, what I'm trying to do is get you to paint and play about using your own colours. I've shown you how I get colours in other videos. I'm telling you what mixes I'm using, it's up to you then. I'm telling you what colours I'm using, but it's up to you to decide if you're going to paint them in these similar colours, as to whether or not you like the colour I'm using, or whether you'd like it different, either darker or lighter. You know, that's the big choice you've got to make yourself. Don't follow my what's the word I'm looking for? Don't follow my paint scheme. If you like the paint scheme I'm using, fine and dandy. If you don't, well, the idea is that you can take the basics and go whichever way you'd like with them. Okay, so that's why I'm doing this way, rather than showing you exactly what colours I'm using, or in what way I'm using them. I'm showing you what colours obviously I'm using, I'm just not telling you how. And would help you doing that more than trying to copy me completely. Okay, so as I said, we're going to be having a black shirt here. There we are. It doesn't take long to do that. Also, as you do black shoes as well, a little bit of water on the brush, not all that much. Wipe some off and then get some more paint on there, then I can, oops, get that done. Thankfully this fella's bald, so I don't have to worry about her. Okay, so he's done. I just noticed something I really need to take care of, which is the this fella's head is still looking a little bit patchy. That should hopefully do it. And then what I also do with these zombies is go over the eye sockets in the Nuln Oil. So we'll just like so, to make them look as though their eyes have sunken, and or the eye sockets have sunken. Like so. So put it on and then wipe off. We don't want it incredibly dark. It's just to show shadow. And finally, herself here. And with her I'm going to be going over most of the face because, as I say, it's in shadow, so it's going to be slightly darker anyway. And that is almost it. One final thing to do with the women folk here, and that is using Balthazar Gold. A little bit on the palette. I'm not using a vast amount, and over on the jewellery I'll just use the Balthazar Gold. Now don't worry about them all looking the same and highlighting them, because the chances are for this they're going to be covered in blood. Most of them, it's just the earrings, and to be honest, I don't really make a fuss of those. So much so that I think I forgot one on that here. Oh, I did say I'd done both. There we go. And there, and finally there. Now it's just a case of getting the bases done. Allow them to dry, but before all that, oh, I knew there was something. Yes, there was something else I wanted to do. I said we'd give this fella a bright yellow tie, didn't I? So let's get it done. I thought I was making him a fashion disaster. So, bright yellow tie. There we are. The blue of the shirt needs to be a little bit more spread out here. Let's try and get that done, because I've just gone over a bit of the shirt with the comma for the tie, but that's fine. There we are. That is him done. But now, oh, one more pair of shoes I need to do. Again, I'll do that in the whatchamacallit, Rhinox hide, and that's here. That's that. Now we can start on the blood. Now for this we're going to be using our standard brush, and we're going to be using a technical paint from Games Workshop called Blood for the Blood God. And we just get our paint in the pot and just blub 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 blub. So I want to build up the paint in certain places. Hands are going to be covered in blood. If you catch different areas with this, then don't worry, it's just blood splatters what we want. You know, I can play about with it. That's that. So as I say, next time it's just a case, well, not next time, next time we'll be starting on the the next survivor. What I need to do now is get the cards out, and I can show you what we're going to be, who we're going to be doing next. But that's the final lot of walkers for the base game. The next ones we're going to be doing will be the runners. Then we'll get on to the fatties, and finally the abomination. The abomination is the only one I can do on here without having practice first, because there's only one of them. But as I say, let's put these to one side. I just need now to find the actual survivor cards. Where have I put them? Ah, they're here. Okay, so we had A, B, C, D. Well, the majority of votes we've had is for C again. So A, B, C. In fact, I'm going to turn this upside down so that I can flip it like that, and then we can see exactly who our next victim, well, our next survivor is going to be. Ned. So it's going to be Ned. So let's get his survivor out. There we are. So we have Ned. Let's lower the camera so we can see in detail. Well, as you can see, he's a little bit of a gentleman of the road, shall we say. Has a shotgun, baseball bat and a frying pan. So this is the kind of guy we're going to be looking at. The shotgun and this has been replaced by a sawn-off shotgun. He's lost his frying pan, he's lost his baseball bat. But he's still looking ready for kicking ass. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing next. Hope you enjoyed these videos. But until next time, from me, the zombies, and Ned, take care, God bless, and bye for now.